Welcome to Webtoon Toon 10. Today we'll be talking about an array of overpowered characters, or OPs for short. This list will consist of 10 OP characters you definitely don't want to mess with. A spoiler warning is in effect, as we're going to deep dive into these characters' old and new abilities. So let's get started. First up, Nano from NanoList. So your super genius, dead, sister entrusts you with a mysterious android named Nano. She's able to control the nano machines that reside in half of her body. Nano's standoffish personality and foul mouth are a stark contrast to her small appearance, which leads to people vastly underestimating her destructive power. Nano's nano machines can disintegrate anything in their path. The real danger is when her nano list is triggered without her consent, and this happens anytime she's under psychological stress or if there's an attempt to delete her software. All of her fights end up pretty one-sided though, as her inbuilt defense mechanisms are able to protect her from both short and long-range attacks. She may be small, but she will turn you into dust. Hyan from Unholy Blood. So picture this. We have humans, or squishy blood sacks, if you will. And then we have half vampires, powerful eaters of said squishy blood sacks. On top of that though, we have death angels, the top of the chain of half vampires that rule over an entire section of Korea. But even above that, we have our girl Hyan, a powerful, full-blooded vampire who can obliterate somebody's entire head with one punch. Yeah, that's not a joke. Her physical strength is above the rest. She has telepathy, hypnosis, fire manipulation, shape-shifting, and believe it or not, there's more. Not to give too much away, but her fight with the first Death Angel really just puts her overwhelming power on display, and she quickly earns her crown as the strongest vampire. Kamin from Study Group. In a world where there are no superpowers, magic, gods, high tech, how does one even become OP? By having the strongest fists around, of course. Our Bruce Lee obsessed protagonist sucks at studying, but he's really good at honing his skills in the martial arts. But why, you ask? Well, it turns out that his opponents are not only his fellow students, but also exceptional martial artists that are getting in the way of a very specific goal. But not to worry, because our boy Kamin takes them out with ease. In the middle of a fight, he literally makes nunchucks out of chains and wood, and then proceeds to annihilate an entire mob of people. And that's only one of his smaller feats. He's gonna take on the entire school to form a study group. He'll become the strongest fighter, so he can get slightly better grades. Zephyr from Doombreaker. You're on your last leg, facing off with the Demon Lord. As you're dying, he states that you're one of the strongest humans that he's ever fought. Once in the afterlife, the gods who were supposed to be good turn out to be jerks, as they were manipulating your life for entertainment the whole time. I present to you the perfect setup for an OP origin story. Zephyr has the added bonus of keeping all of his previous memories and the 9 blessings from those jerk gods, the first of which he unlocks is Iron Will. This ability won't allow him to feel tired or take on any damage that is lower than his durability. And his power only grows from there, aided by his sharp memory to recall his past. What you get is someone who reaches heights above his previous life. The strongest human will reach the level of the gods to get his revenge. Ethan from Hardcore Leveling Warrior. So unlike every other series on this list, Hardcore Leveling Warrior takes place in a literal game and not the real world. Ethan's just a normal guy, but online, he's the strongest jerk you'll ever meet. At least he was until his character died. What makes Ethan special in this world is his knowledge of the game. Sure, we could focus on the rare items and his bet ability that allows him to wager people's stats and rarest items. But what really pushes Ethan over the edge is that he became number 1 with his ability to adapt to a situation and use elements in the game to his advantage. From game-breaking bugs, hidden locations, or adapting to a situation where everyone else would lose, Ethan earned his spot as number 1. Daniel and Gunn from Lookism. Alright, so on one hand, we have Gun, the man everyone in the series wants to beat the living snot out of. He's one of the 10 geniuses of lookism, being one of the only characters who is always in Ultra Instinct mode, showcased by his pitch black eyes. He uses a mixed fighting style consisting of Kyokushin Karate, Aikido, and Capoeira. Often called a monster, he's known to take on a multitude of enemies at once and is the only character in the series who is yet to be defeated. Then on the other hand, we have Daniel. Not his version, this version. Daniel has the ability to copy any move after he's encountered it once. When knocked unconscious, he goes into Ultra Instinct mode, but unlike Gun, he cannot control it and winds up beating anyone in his path without mercy. He also uses a mixed fighting style, mastering boxing, Muay Thai, Taekwondo, wrestling, Systema, MMA, Aikido, Capoeira, and Kyokushin Karate. Both are a force to be reckoned with, and it is electric anytime they face off. Bomb from Tower of God. 25th Bomb is a sweet boy who only wanted to follow his friend Rachel to the top of the tower to see the stars together. He's an irregular, however, which immediately grants him the advantage of being able to use the power of Shinzu, the central life force of which all who reside in the tower rely on to live. This ability alone makes him a powerful foe, as he's not bound by any rules or restrictions enforced by the tower. He is seen as a powerful monster who is capable of bringing chaos. His two thorns allow him to learn new attacks and techniques by seeing them once. Bomb is sweet but deadly and can only go up from here. Jin from Teenage Mercenary. Alright, picture this. You're in a plane crash. Family? Dead. Memories? Lost. Hair? Flawless. And you happen to join the greatest mercenary group ever, fight in multiple battlefields, and then you head to high school? That's Jin's life. This series universe is kind of similar to Study Group, as in it's more grounded and it lacks superpowers and magical abilities. But that doesn't mean we don't get to see some impossible things. Jin is a master marksman, hand-to-hand fighter, and tactician. He single-handedly beats rooms of gangsters twice his size. He makes a group of professional bodyguards look like a joke, and will face the horrors of war in order to take down the enemy's armies all by himself. In reality, this dude just wants to relax and spend some time with his family, but people just won't stop coming at him and trying to fight him. Luckily, he does make pretty easy work of them. John from Unordinary. When it came to OP, it was really hard to pick between the two top fighters, because Sarah is an incredible powerhouse. The story literally nerfed her for a while just to keep her from wiping the floor with everybody. So because of that, we did have to give the edge to John. He quickly becomes number one by using his power to copy everyone else's powers. And you may be thinking, that doesn't give him mastery of the power. But after a few rounds of fighting, he quickly adapts and gets the hang of his new skills. Put him in a room with other superpowered folks and he'll leap from one ability to another and quickly take everyone out. He's so powerful, he took over his current school with a bag over his head. Mori Jin from God of High School. We can't talk about OP characters without bringing up the true winner of the God of High School tournament. This is the man who refused to borrow power and focused on creating his own instead. He's the grandson of the strongest human, and the man who devastated a literal god. He's the Mori Jin. He's the Sun Wukong, the Monkey King, famously depicted in Journey to the West. And he can defeat anybody he faces with his mastery of renewal Taekwondo. He can clone himself, learn any language instantly, use a staff that can grow to the size of a mountain, has a cloud that can control lightning, and that's just the surface of what he can do. We watch him grow from being the strongest high schooler to the breaker of gods. I don't know many people that can hold a candle to Mori Jin. He is truly an OP. And that's the list. You'll have to let us know if we missed any critical OP characters down in the comments below. You can find all of these stories and more on the Webtoon app, and I will see you next time.